Hello guys, and welcome back to Football Manager 2023 with me, Dean, and welcome back to the series in our epic quest across Europe to win every top flight division in the European nations that are in the base game. Currently in Serbia as the manager of Vojvodina. In our second season here, it's our first full season as the manager of Vojvodina though, and things are going rather well. We unfortunately have actually in the last sort of couple of weeks hit a little bit of a dip in form. We've made a couple of signings since you were last with us. A couple of strikers who I've brought in, and they were Mustafa Gomer. He came in for £150,000 from Arab Contractors. He is an Egyptian 26-year-old. He's pretty decent in terms of his attributes. He just hasn't really hit the ground for us yet. 5 appearances, 1 goal, a 6.45 rating in the league is not really good enough. Not long after we brought Gomer in, we then brought in Facundo Rios from Young Boys. He is a 23-year-old Portuguese who his attributes are absolutely fantastic, but again he hasn't hit the ground running at all. He looks very, very goal shy, shall we say, and he's yet to find the back of the net for us. In terms of how things have gone since you were last here though, of course we started off the season with those 2 fantastic wins, 3-0 and 5-0. Next up was India, and it was a 2-1 win in this one. Conceded our first goal of the season. Coxis and Janssen with both the goals in the first half. Milojevic with a penalty in the second half for India. A good performance from us really, and we kept up that winning start to the season. Followed it up in the next game against Loznica, another 3-1 win. So again we've conceded rather disappointingly. Biharak, Janssen and Milanic with the goals. We again absolutely dominated the game in that one. Radnik Sadalika, if I'm saying that correctly, were next up. It was Vuk Popovic with a double. Rossi actually picked up an injury, so we brought in the young man Vuk Popovic, and he got himself 2 goals in that game. He's actually got 3 and 2 appearances for us in the league, and he's developing okay. Could be better really. He's lost his promising tag as well now, unfortunately, so it does look like he's declining a little bit, but he did get us 2 goals in that one, which obviously helped us out. Next up was Radniki 1923, 2-1 in this one. Milanic and Popovic with the winner. I say the winner in the 90th minute. They did get a goal themselves in the 92nd minute, but it's another fantastic performance. Their only goal came from their only shot on target, which is something that happens quite a lot in Football Manager for whatever reason. Huge result against Partizan away from home, 3-0. Gomer made his debut, scored. Milanic, who's had a fantastic season by the way, got a double. Meshirosh, our former player, didn't even make an appearance. He's on the bench there, didn't play for us. So they've took our star striker off us and they're not even playing him. But a great 3-0 win away from home against Partizan. That was fantastic. We did lose our first competitive game of the season. It was in the Europa League playoff first leg. It was against Levski of Bulgaria. It was a 2-0 defeat. It was quite disappointing, and we followed that up with a defeat in the league as well against Radniki. They got the winner in the 51st minute through Kaufman. We played okay, but Rios, you can see, had a poor game on his debut. Rossi had a poor game as well out on the right-hand side. Yeah, it just wasn't really a very good performance. We did get back to winning ways against Levski though. We did beat them 4-0 in the home leg of the playoff for the Europa League. So we have actually qualified for the league phase of the Europa League, which is good. And we followed that with a 2-0 win against Mladost in the league. Blagojevic and Petrovic with the goals in the first half in a very good performance by Vojvodina. We then lost again to Novi Sad. Prijovic with the only goal of the game in the 34th minute. A game that we didn't deserve to lose. If you're having a look at the match stats here, you can see that we were pretty good in the game, to be fair. Gomer with a 6 up front though is a little bit poor, and that was sort of the start of our little slump that we've been on, unfortunately. We did beat VTSC, the Portuguese side there, in the Europa League, but then it's been 4 draws in a row. One of them is in the Europa League, but 3 in a row in the league. The first one against Kukuriki, which was not a bad result really. Kukuriki, you can see by the XG here, we're actually the better team in terms of XG. Match stats wise, we probably edged it. 1-1 was probably a fair result for us in that one. The next 2 were disappointing though. A 0-0 against Loznica. Not really a lot happened. It was a poor game of football, unfortunately. And then 1-1 against TSC was another poor one. They actually probably outperformed us. Juan Rossi did score for us in the 74th minute. We did miss a penalty in the 60th minute as well, so it's probably a missed opportunity for us, really. We've drawn 2-2 with Schalke in the Europa League, so we're up near the top somewhere in the Europa League, which is good. It keeps the money coming in. And then most recently, I've taken on Novi Pazar, a 53rd minute winner from Ratkovic. Nice curling effort. He's moved forward into midfield for this one. Sort of back to a little bit of form, really, in this, if you look at the match stats. And what that does for us is it currently leaves us in second place after the 3 draws in a row and the defeat before that. So we're not in the best of form. Thankfully, Crvena Zvezda are not in the best of form either. Their form in the last 5 games is identical to ours. But it is Kukuriki who are at the top by 3 points. They've got a slightly better goal difference as well, courtesy of the fact they've scored more goals than us. But they are 3 points clear of us, and it's a bit of a surprise for it to be Kukuriki and not Crvena Zvezda. Partizan are a little bit off the pace, unfortunately, for Partizan. Fortunately for us, though. So we're 3 points behind Kukuriki, so it's still all to play for halfway through the season. We do have 2 games today, though, the first of which is against Crvena Zvezda. I believe it's away from home. It is indeed away from home, so that's going to be very, very difficult. Financially, the club's in a good place now. We've got £7 million in the bank thanks to the European qualification, which is good. So if we're still here next season, or whoever takes over next season, if we're not here, they're going to have a little bit of money to spend. But let's get into the game against Crvena Zvezda, and this is the lineup that we're going to go with for today. We're not going to be playing Kovac because he is actually injured. Let's get Koksits in there. A couple of changes to the lineup while we're here. So what we're going to start with is it's going to be Pajic in goal, Mohamed is the right back, Koksis, Licerani coming in, Licerani, I beg your pardon, coming in as the centre half today while we move Ratkovic into the midfield. Djuricic continues as that left wing back. Ratkovic is the defensive midfielder. Blagojevic is one of the Segundo Volantes. He's actually a fairly decent player. The 19-year-old Serbian. Of course, I do have to have an under 21-year-old Serbian in the starting 11 or in the match squad. The playing 11. I'll get my words there eventually. Volkan in for today. Rossi moves out to the left-hand side for today's game. Milanic, who my assistant still doesn't really rate, has had a fantastic season for us. 6 goals and 4 assists in the league in 10 appearances. Is pretty good. 7.72 rating as well. And then up top today it's going to be Halilaj. He is actually quite a decent striker for a 29-year-old Serbian. He's just extremely unhappy because he thinks he should be playing more games. And I actually think with his attributes the way they are, I kind of agree with him. He's not much of a goal scorer throughout his career, though. 27 in 151. But we're going to give him a chance here. We can get rid of some of that unhappiness. He is leaving on a free transfer at the end of the season, though. But obviously the unhappiness, it causes disrest amongst the rest of the squad. So that's the lineup for today. Hopefully we can get something from the game against Crvena Zvezda. And with 20 minutes on the clock, it's been a very tentative game so far. There's only been 2 shots all game. It's now just jumped up to 4. We've had 2 there, but nothing really happening. Thankfully, though, nothing's happening with Kukuriki yet either. Obviously, we're sort of starting to rely on the point where we need Kukuriki to make a couple of slip-ups here. Unless we beat them ourselves when we play them. But Crvena Zvezda starting to come out on top in this first half now, but we are in at half-time with not a lot happening really. No highlights whatsoever. Crvena Zvezda slightly on top. I think if we can hold on for a draw against Crvena Zvezda, I think that would go down as a good result, really. Obviously, I'd like to win. If Kukuriki do win, then that puts them further ahead of us, of course. And you can see that Partizan are 3-0 away from home as well. So they are starting to close that gap just a little bit to the top 3. 80 minutes on the clock, guys. We get our first highlight of the game. It is Vojvodina with the ball, though. It's Blagojevic bringing the ball forward. That's an absolute waste. We've waited 80 minutes for a highlight, and that's the highlight. That is disappointing. What else is disappointing is that Kukuriki have taken the lead, and we could be about to concede here as well. And we have conceded through Marcelinho Capango. He's given Crvena Zvezda the lead in the 86th minute, which is not good. That's going to move us down to 3rd place in the league. 6 points off the top as well. Yeah, this season's starting to fall apart a little bit after the great start we've had. That is a disappointing result. It's a disappointing game of football, really. We've had 2 highlights in which our only effort that we saw from us was an absolute waste from Blagojevic. but the result itself is the most disappointing thing, unfortunately. Like I say, we do now fall 6 points behind Kukuriki, and we're going to have to start finding some form pretty quickly if we want to be knocking Serbia off the list. So we do have 2 games in this episode, like I say. I've got Sarajevo to play in the Europa League. I'm going to go away and play that now. We're then going to come back and take on Železničar. I don't know what the P actually stands for. It's Pančevo, it says in there, but I don't think that's what the P stands for. So I'm going to go away now, play Sarajevo. We'll come back in just a minute, guys. So see you in a minute. Right, guys, welcome back to the second game of today's episode against Železničar, I think is how it's pronounced. We did beat Sarajevo in the Europa League. We beat them 4-1. We did have some help with them having a player sent off in the first half, but Juan Rossi picked up a hat-trick in that game to continue his excellent goal scoring that he's been in for us this season. 11 and 14 in all competitions is pretty decent for the Argentine. It was nice to have a win. Hopefully we can continue that today against Železničar. We are at home, which obviously does help things. It's the same lineup as the previous game against Crvena Zvezda. I'm trying to keep things a little bit stable in terms of the lineup, partly because of the dip of form we're in. Hopefully the players can start to play well together. But we do really need to start picking up that form in the league. Like I say, we're 6 points off the top now, behind Kukuriki, which is it's getting to be a little bit of a mind the gap sort of thing. And if we do want to get out of Serbia this season, we do need to be getting our acts together really, and picking up some wins. Crvena Zvezda are also ahead of us in the league now after that defeat that we had against them. So we do really need a win. But with 15 minutes on the clock, we've not really had a lot of action so far. Železničar have not done anything really. Now we get our first highlight. Stojanovic clears it for Železničar. Koksis does win the header, finds Ratkovic onto the left-hand side towards Juricic, looking to get the ball into the penalty area. We've got 4 red shirts in there. It's towards the back post. It's a good header. Good save by the goalkeeper. Blagojevic looks to keep it alive. Rossi, Volkan with the effort. It's blocked. And they managed to scramble the ball away, but it's all Vojvodina. It's one-way traffic so far in this game. Hopefully we can make that one-way traffic and the pressure tell. But Ratkovic does well to win that header there. The ball falls to Mohamed. He takes it past his man. Blagojevic forward towards Halai. Ball across towards Rossi. Juan Rossi with his 12th goal of the season gives Vojvodina the lead. Good play down that right-hand side by Mohamed, and it's Halilai. That's how you pronounce his name. Blagojevic, a good ball forward. Halilai with the ball across towards Rossi, and it's an easy finish there for the Argentine for his 12th of the season, and that does give us the lead. We're looking to extend that straight away. Halilai with the free kicks towards that back post, and Milanic, but it has gone over the bar, and it stays that way till half-time, as Železničar have not really offered anything at all going forward. They've had 1 shot on target. Compared to our 7. It would be nice if we got another one though, because knowing Football Manager, we will concede. It's just the way Football Manager is. So we do need to come out in this second half and grab some goals. Our goal difference is falling behind Kukuriki and Crvena Zvezda as well. Zvezda are 2-0 up away from home. Kukuriki are drawing though against Radniki, which is good to see. We need some results like that for Kukuriki if we're going to overtake them in the table, and we're looking to make it 2 now. Juricic on the left hand side finds the goal scorer Rossi. Ball into the box by Juricic towards Milanic, gets his head on it again. It's hit the crossbar and fallen kindly for the Železničar defender there. No following up from the Vojvodina players. Železničar with the ball though, looking to get out of their own half. They can't do it. Rossi tackles back, wins it back. Blagojevic finds Juricic, bringing the ball forward to Volkan. Volkan down the line towards Halili again. Juricic towards the back post. Milanic, it's another header for Milanic, and it's another one that he's missed the target with. Got to do better aerially. He could have had 3 himself, but we do have a dangerous free kick to be taken by Halili, and it's another one that's gone just over the bar. We're not really doing too great with this with our finishing here, but we are dominating the game, which is good to see. We're not letting Železničar in. As now Kukuriki do take the lead in the 69th minute. That's disappointing to see. Crvena Zvezda 3-0 up, so it looks like the gap is going to be remaining at the 6 points at the top, and I believe that's the way it's going to stay. We have won the game 1-0. It's disappointing that it wasn't more than that, with 29 shots and 12 on target. Rossi did get the only goal of the game though, and it's the 3 points that matter. It doesn't matter how many we win by. So just confirmation after that game at the end of the episode as well. Crvena Zvezda did win 3-0 and they retained their 2-point gap to us. Kukuriki did also pick up a 1-0 win and they retained their 6-point gap to us with a slightly better goal difference. So we have fallen away as the season's gone on. Hopefully we can pick up a bit of form in the second half of the season. Of course, we're still only in October. We are halfway through the regular season. I'm going to come back at the beginning of when the league splits, which, looking at the table, we're going to be in the top half of the table. We've got 13 points over Radnik Srdelica, so I can't see us giving up a 13-point lead to the 9th place side. Disappointing episode, really. Disappointing episode to lose to Zvezda and to only beat Železničar 1-0 is a little bit disappointing, and the fact that we're now 6 points off the top of the table. So, like I say, hopefully we do pick up that form in the second part of the season. But guys, thank you very much for watching. We'll be back for the first game of the league split. Please remember to hit that thumbs up button for me though, guys. It does help me out massively. Like I always say, it doesn't cost you anything either. It's absolutely free, and it just shows me a little bit of support. Also, any comments, guys, please let me know. All are welcome. But I'll see you all in the next episode. So thanks for watching, guys. See you later.